Under the scorching sun of Rio de Janeiro, where the sea meets the hills and the rhythm of the city never sleeps, stands a villa that at first glance looks like pure luxury. Glass, water, vastness. But behind these walls lies more than wealth. Here begins the story of Neymar Jr., the golden son of Brazil. Before he became a symbol of glamour, records, and millions, he was just a barefoot boy on dusty streets. And that is exactly where it all began. Neymar Jr. was born on February 5, 1992, in Mogi das Cruzes, far away from the lights of major stadiums. His childhood was simple, shaped by narrow streets, dust, and a ball that almost never left his feet. Early on, it was clear that this boy played differently than the others, faster in thinking, freer in movement, braver in one-on-ones. His father, himself a former soccer player, recognized this talent immediately. He took on the role of mentor and later manager, guiding his son with discipline and clear direction. In 2003, the family moved to São Vicente, where Neymar joined a youth team. That same year, the move to Santos followed, the home of the legendary Santos FC. At only 11 years old, he was accepted into the academy, right where Pelé once began his path. While other children played, Neymar was already working on a future that was larger than everything surrounding him. Every touch of the ball brought him one step closer to his dream. Was this already the moment when his fate was decided?
Already at 14, it began to be evident that Neymar's talent could no longer be overlooked. International scouts took notice, and a trip to Spain brought him his first encounter with the big world of soccer. During a trial at Real Madrid, he trained side by side with stars like Ronaldo, Zidane, Beckham, and Robinho. It was a brief glimpse into a future that still had to wait. At 17, the decisive step followed. Neymar debuted for Santos on March 7, 2009, wearing number 11 and scoring 14 goals in 48 games in his first season. But that was only the beginning. In 2010, his talent finally exploded. In 60 games, he scored 42 goals and dazzled with technique, courage, and joy in play. Brazil had a new hero. In 2011, he led Santos to victory in the Copa Libertadores, the first title of its kind since the Pelé era. Neymar became the face of this triumph, and a year later was voted South American Footballer of the Year. On May 26, 2013, he played his final game for Santos. One chapter ended, and the stage was set for the next step. Had Brazil already become too small for Neymar?
Only one day after his final game for Santos, the next chapter began. Neymar signed with FC Barcelona, entering the biggest stage of European soccer. At Camp Nou, he met Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. Together, they formed the legendary MSN trio, a combination of technique, speed, and instinct that redefined modern soccer. In the 2014-2015 season, this trio scored 122 goals, and in the following one, even 131. Barcelona won the Champions League, the Spanish League, and the Cup. Neymar was no longer just an extraordinary talent from Brazil. He was now a global superstar whose style of play fascinated millions. His dribbling, his creativity, and his courage made him a central figure in this golden cycle. Yet, with success, the desire for his own stage also grew. The thought of stepping out of Messi's shadow became stronger and stronger. While Barcelona celebrated triumphs, a decision was already maturing in the background that would shake the soccer market. Was Neymar ready to leave everything behind to write his own story?
On August 3, 2017, a moment occurred that changed world soccer forever. Neymar's representatives paid the release clause of €222 million. It was the most expensive transfer in history. In one fell swoop, he left Barcelona and moved to Paris Saint-Germain. Not just a club change, but a clear sign. Neymar no longer wanted to be part of a story. He wanted to write it himself. In Paris, he took on a new role. With the number 10, he became a symbol of luxury, modernity, and ambition. On the pitch, he led PSG to several national titles, winning championships and cups, and in 2020 reached the Champions League final for the first time, a historic moment for the club. But the glory came with a price. Injuries accompanied this phase. Ankle problems in 2021 and surgery in 2023 set him back. Nevertheless, every one of his comebacks was marked by magic: the smile, the technique, the charisma. For Brazil, Neymar had long been more than just a player. He was the face of an entire generation. Can a player be both a symbol of success and a prisoner of his own fame?
For Brazil, Neymar was never just a club star. At only 18, he debuted for the Selección and quickly became the hope of an entire nation. He participated in 2 World Cups and carried the expectations of a country that understands soccer not as a sport, but as an identity. Every one of his appearances was closely watched, every movement evaluated. In 2016, his role reached a historic peak. At the Olympic Games in Rio, Neymar led Brazil to its first gold medal in soccer history. In a tournament full of pressure and emotion, he became a symbol of redemption and pride. He also left his mark at the Copa America and rose to become the second-best goalscorer for the Brazilian national team, trailing only Pelé. From the sandy streets of his childhood to the world's biggest stages, a career spanned that combined genius, charisma, and rebellion. Neymar became the face of a generation, loved, criticized, and never ignored. When does a player become a national icon?
Far from the stadiums, Neymar's success took a tangible form. His villa near Rio de Janeiro is no ordinary estate, but a place of retreat. About an hour and a half west of the city, hidden in the private resort of Mangaratiba, the house lies nestled in over 12,000 square meters of nature. Wood, glass, and open spaces characterize the architecture, allowing interior and exterior spaces to merge. Large windows open to views of the sea and the surrounding mountains. 2 pools, a hot tub, a tennis court, and a small soccer field complement the property without disturbing the silence. This is not about show, but about balance. The villa is the place where Neymar regenerates, finds distance, and gathers strength. No applause, no pressure. Only space, air, and time. Is this silence the true luxury in Neymar's life?
From the quiet coast of Mangaratiba, Neymar begins to move again. For him, movement is more than speed. It is part of his identity. Every vehicle he owns reflects a stage of his journey. The black Ferrari GTC4 Lusso stands for arrival and triumph. With its powerful engine and elegant lines, it became a symbol of success, but also of concentration. While driving, Neymar hardly speaks. He listens, lets the road do the work, and finds a form of calm in it. The Audi RS7 Sportback already accompanied him in Barcelona. Powerful, precise, and yet stylish. It was his daily transition between training and the public, between performance and personal retreat. And then there is the helicopter, an Airbus, matte black, individually customized. It lifts Neymar above the noise, carrying him from Sao Paulo to his villa, away from the chaos and toward the silence. 3 machines, 3 meanings: speed, elegance, and freedom. For Neymar, standing still is not an option.
Neymar's fortune did not occur by chance. It is the result of talent, ambition, and targeted control over his own career. His wealth is estimated at around $450 million, with annual earnings of about $76 million. A large part comes from soccer, but his influence has long reached far beyond the pitch. Through endorsement deals with international brands and an enormous reach on social media, Neymar turned attention into economic power. A decisive step was the control over his own image rights, which gave him independence. Real estate, companies, and long-term investments show that he is not concerned with short-term luxury, but with stability. Today, Neymar is not just a soccer player, but a global brand with its own structure. When does fame become power, and power become responsibility?
Away from fame and fortune, a quieter side of Neymar is revealed. In Praia Grande, he founded the Instituto Proyecto Neymar Jr., a center that provides thousands of children with education, medical care, and access to sports and art for thousands of children. For him, charity is not a public image, but a personal obligation. Internationally, he is also involved in children's rights and humanitarian projects. At the same time, his private life is coming more into focus. Neymar divides his time between Sao Paulo and his villa, remains closely connected to his family, and finds new meaning in his children. Today, success means less applause and more closeness, peace, and balance. Is true greatness perhaps what remains when the noise stops?
From the barefoot boy on dusty streets to the quiet heights above the coast of Rio, Neymar's path shows that greatness is not just achieved, but consciously lived. Fame, wealth, and freedom merge into a life that he shapes himself, because true luxury lies not in possession, but in the way of living. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more extraordinary life journeys.